First of all, I plead innocent of all charges.
This is Elvis, the ultimate fan channel, the global Elvis community fan channel.
Here I am. Hello. Oh, excuse me. I trust I find you well. Are we ready for an epic show? Ha! You can't get rid of me that easy, okay? Yes, I'm back. I'm not 100%. I must admit now, the tiredness and the fatigue is still very much a thing. It was an awful flu, stroke, virus, stroke, whatever it is. I can't really tell you what it was. But I wouldn't want it... hello, Teresa. Welcome back, she says. I wouldn't really want it on anybody, to be honest. I really just hope that nobody ever gets what I had and still have. Excuse me. First of all, I will apologise if I have to mute the microphone every so often for sneezes and coughs and clears of throats and things like that. I hope you will understand. But yeah, however, I am back. There was no way I was going to leave you hanging for another week. This time last week, I was not a very well person. No, there was no way I could have even sat upright in front of this microphone. So thanks for bearing with me. So we're going to do what? Oh, well, the global shout out. Yes. Of course, it says at the beginning, the global Elvis community. You cannot get bigger than a global community. People may try to get a bigger community than the global community. It's impossible. You can't. So this is the biggest Elvis global community YouTube channel. I'm proud to say that because you've made it that. Nothing to do with me. It's you behind that camera there. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to say Mary Tipton from Finland. Welcome, Mary. Thank you very, very much for sending in your name and your country, your location. You can do the same watching me now, and you could be the recipient of the global shout out next week. And let's put Finland on the map. And I'm very, very happy that Finland watches Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. Random Elvis thoughts. Let's have a look. Yeah, there is a random Elvis thought in this week. Aloha Elvis fan wonders, I wonder what hairstyles Elvis would have worn as the decades progressed. 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010s. Oh, that's definitely a random Elvis thought, yeah. You can leave your comments below if you want about that. Excuse me. Great random Elvis thought. Send yours in, please. Now, the topic. Yes, the topic is what Baz saw at Graceland, and should he have been allowed to see it in the first place. This day in Elvis history, hidden Elvis, 4 clues throughout the show. You have to try and identify what I'm hiding Elvis-wise. What was it on the last show? Was it Ronnie Tutt? I think it was Ronnie Tutt, yes. A live poll, which actually ties in with the topic. Unfortunately, no Dylan's Elvis tale this week. Dylan can't make it, but I'm thinking of you, buddy. If you're watching in, I'm thinking of you. We're all thinking of you, actually, Dylan. Elvis Song of the Week. Well, you've had actually 2 weeks to vote on it, so there'll be plenty of votes on Elvis Song of the Week. It's a mad, mad, mad Elvis world. Yet more nonsense from the web on Elvis. Caption the photo. Great photo. I'll just do an impression of it. Smoking hot photo, of course.
Oh, he's so hot.
Fan of the week. How do you become fan of the week? Well, you'll probably see next to people's names a crown and a number. For instance, there's Mrs. EAP, number 2. Actually, Teresa now is number 2. And basically what it is, if you're number 1, you will become Elvis Fan of the Week for Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel. You just need to keep commenting and keeping the comments flowing on the live chat, and you will be, take it from me, you will be Elvis Fan of the Week. You can, of course, call me on WhatsApp, free, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, or get yourself using the link below on the Discord channel. Normally, we have Dylan on Discord, but as I say, he is indisposed this week, and I'm looking forward to speaking to him next week. But before we go anywhere, we have to do one of these.
Hidden Elvis. Clue number 1.
Yeah, I will give you 4 clues, and you have to tell me what it is. Now, of course, for the last 6-7 weeks, the whole theme really has been epic. So I'm not going to lie to you. This Hidden Elvis is epic. I might have to use a tissue in a minute, but let's see how we get on. So yeah, it is epic themed, and Hidden Elvis clue number 1 is May 24th, 1968. There you go. What do you think of that? May 24th, 1968. If you do get it before the 4th clue, please don't write it in the chat yet, because we do actually like to get all 4 clues out the way before I ask people what the answer is. Hi, Chris. Great to see you there. Because I am going to need help in my fragile state this week with the Fan of the Month quiz. And speaking of which, later on, I will be spinning the wheel for last month's winner, February's Fan of the Month winner. So if you've got the correct answer anytime last month and you were the first person to get the answer right, then your name is going to be on the wheel for the Elvis prize. Now, that's the way it is. Of course, a lot of material for Epic came from That's the Way It Is. So this is an Epic themed quiz. And without further ado, I'm going to ask you 6 questions. And the first question is you've got to finish the phrase. And the phrase begins, "This is the nitty-gritty time as far as being nervous." Now, there. What do you think the rest of that phrase is? Glad you're back, Steve. Thanks, Rebel Vegan. Jody Duggan says opening night, which I believe is the answer I'm looking for. Mark Green says, hiya, Mark. Mark Green says, happy birthday, Mark. Happy opening night, Mark. Yeah. And Chris says Jody, because he says, this is the nitty gritty time as far as being nervous, opening night. So, yeah. And so I'm going to write Jody Duggan, and I'm going to write it in red, because the Epic EPIC is in red, so I'm going to use red. And we are going to use the quiz jingle, which again is Epic themed.
Don't be afraid to play. Just play it, man. You know, just play the hell out of it.
Yep, that's our jingle for the quiz. Okay. Now, this next one is, again, you'd have to kind of be listening out to That's the Way It Is for this. What did Elvis call the musicians at the rehearsals in Culver City in July 1970? Chris says, play the hell out of it. Yes. Okay. I don't know, for some reason my squirrel section, says Ruth Daniel. Yeah, for some reason my I don't know. My chat has actually frozen on one of my screens. Oh well, never mind. At least I can see the other one. Right, so backbone of the whole show. Who put a backbone of the whole show? Steve, do we need the whole answer? Yeah. I'm looking for somebody who said the backbone of the whole show. So if you can tell me who said that. Because I wasn't looking, Chris. Okay. Let's have a look. Jane is the closest. Okay, well, we'll go with Jane then. Jane. Great. Thank you, Jane. You get this.
Don't be afraid to play. Just play it, man. You know, just play the hell out of it.
I wonder if I can get this. No, it's not going to unfreeze my screen, unfortunately. I don't want to do too much because I could knock us off. Right. Yeah, another phrase. What does he say after? I'm gonna bring the Supremes on tomorrow night. Let's have a look. What does he say? I'm going to bring the Supremes on tomorrow night. I'm going to give it to Ian because Jane has said with Mahalia Jackson, but Ian has said with Mahalia Jackson singing lead with him. So I believe he's the first person to say that. And if you can just check for me, Chris. Yeah, Ian. Well done. Thanks, Ian. Okay. After the quiz, I've got some important news to tell you. So stick around. Ian, you get this.
Don't be afraid to play. Just play it, man. You know, just play the hell out of it.
Right. Very, very simple question now. On the original That's the Way It Is album, what was track 5, side 1? Now, do you know that off the top of your head, or you're going to have to Google it? I've just unfrozen my my screen. I can see the chat again on both screens. Okay, so we're just waiting for Chris to tell me who it was that said Mary in the morning. Or as, Chris says John Rowley. Or as Charlie made a joke, and he had to say it about 5 or 6 times before Elvis heard him, was she had a sister called Toppa. Wasn't one of Charlie's best jokes. So, John, you get this.
Don't be afraid to play. Just play it, man. You know, just play the hell out of it.
Yeah. This could be a little bit of a difficult one for some people. It would have been for me unless I had it written down in front of me. And it is, where did the movie premiere? Where did the movie That's the Way It Is premiere? Vincenzo says, well done, John Rowley. Helen says, well done, John. Yes. Chris says it as well. Marion in the morning. Yeah. Duncan says, hi, Duncan. Says Toronto, Australia, Las Vegas, Memphis. Shenmue says Toronto. Hi, Shenmue. Yeah, it was actually Toronto, and it was Duncan that said Toronto first, although Pamela said Toronto as well. But, yeah, well done, Duncan. And obviously, you get this.
Don't be afraid to play. Just play it, man. You know, just play the hell out of it.
Right. Now, next one is a multiple choice question, okay? A multiple choice question. So listen carefully. I'm going to give you 4 options. Listen carefully. How much shorter is the 2001 version to the original 1970 version? Is it 3 minutes shorter, 10 minutes shorter, 12 minutes shorter, or 14 minutes shorter? And I know some people are going to say, I didn't realize it was shorter. Well, it is. And it's one of those 3 minutes shorter, 10 minutes shorter, 12 minutes shorter, or 14 minutes shorter. Now, let's have a look at these lovely comments coming in. Okay. Duncan saying 14, Susan 14, Ruth 14, Brian says 10. Okay. Jane says option 3. Okay. Right, now Lee Ash apparently gets the thumbs up from Chris simply because Lee is saying as far as I can understand. Hang on a second. He is the first person to say 12. Although yes, it is Timothy Lee, 12. And it is 12 minutes. And the strange thing about it is, right, even though it's 12 minutes shorter, there's actually more Elvis. Elvis has more screen time on the 2001 version. And that's simply because, as we know, there was an awful lot of other stuff shown, as there was with Elvis on tour as well. Stuff like, on Elvis on tour, that guy telling everybody how Elvis was going to come in and all this and all that, So yeah, even though 12 minutes shorter, more Elvis. And who can argue with more Elvis? Oh, by the way, yeah, we heard there that Epic has now done about $12 to $13 million, which is great. Absolutely great. It's exceeded its budget already. So, and it's gone back to IMAX as well, didn't it? But it is starting to wind down now. So the next thing we'll be watching, we'll be keeping our peepers open now for streaming. Yes, streaming. Lee, you get this.
Don't be afraid to play. Just play it, man. Just play the hell out of it.
Now, what I wanted to say, very important about this is tomorrow evening, around about this time. I know it's not evening your time in America, but around about this time tomorrow, this is going to be posted on YouTube. It's the very, very, very first episode of Desert Island Elvis and Castaway number 1. Okay, Castaway number 1 is going to choose 10 songs, 6 Elvis movies, a book, and an Elvis or luxury item. Okay, he's cast away on a desert island. Fortuitously, he has a solar-powered gramophone or record player, if you like to call it that. A gramophone? That ages me, doesn't it? And a solar-powered projector as well, a movie projector. So I hope you'll enjoy that. It's the very, very first Desert Island Elvis. And there will obviously be more to come because I've got a list of people that have volunteered to be a castaway. And I will be contacting the next castaway in the next couple of days, actually. So there we have it. I really, really hope that you enjoy this new series, Desert Island Castaway, because you cannot believe how excited I was about it. You cannot believe how excited I was to talk to my very, very first castaway. And I just think it's just such a novel idea. I know it sounds big-headed because I came up with it, but it just sounds such a novel idea for somebody to imagine that they're on a desert island and they've got 10 songs to pick, 6 movies, 1 book, and an Elvis luxury item. So there you are. So this time tomorrow, you'll be able to listen to the very, very first episode of Desert Island Elvis. And I'm very, very happy and proud to produce it and present it to you, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, as I say, you'll be able to watch it, listen to it on YouTube. You'll be able to listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else you get your podcasts. Actually, you'll be able to listen to Desert Island Elvis if you don't want to listen to it on YouTube, but YouTube probably is the best place to listen to it. Now, what have we got? Oh, yes, the topic. Yeah, Baz was interviewed a couple of weeks ago, and he was asked about Graceland, his time at Graceland when he was doing work on the Elvis 2022 movie, and this is what Baz said.
But the story's out there. They have this policy, not kings, not prime ministers, but the bedroom upstairs is off limits for very, very real reasons. And Lisa Maria was extremely sensitive about that. But at some point, I had to stage scenes in the bedroom, and I won't go into detail about it, but I wasn't allowed up there. And then at some point I spoke to Lisa and I said, look, I really need just to get a sense of it. And so I had the great privilege and also the great sadness of visiting up in the bedroom, 20 minutes, no video, no nothing, just had to remember everything with my mind. And there were things that I observed that were both extraordinary and there was a sense of sadness in that. And it connects to, and I don't want to dwell on the sad decline part, because this film, Epic, is really about the celebration. Like, it's when Elvis really reclaims his creative powers and puts on a show like no other. And what we were so privileged and excited to be able to do when we found the 65 reels of unseen footage and worked with the great Peter Jackson and his team to bring it back to life so that on IMAX you're seeing it at a level that's kind of inconceivable.
Okay, just to recap, you could hear that whole interview, couldn't you? Because there was a little glitch on my soundboard. Just to let me know that you could hear the whole interview there before we discuss it. If not, I will play it again. That was my fault. I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Vincenzo says I heard it fine. I didn't hear the beginning. Oh, you didn't hear the beginning. Well, do you know what? Just for that, I'm going to play it again.
But the story's out there. They have this policy, not kings, not prime ministers, but the bedroom upstairs is off limits for very, very real reasons. And Lisa Maria was extremely sensitive about that. But at some point, I had to stage scenes in the bedroom, and I won't go into detail about it, but I wasn't allowed up there. And then at some point I spoke to Lisa and I said, look, I really need just to get a sense of it. And so I had the great privilege and also the great sadness of visiting up in the bedroom, 20 minutes, no video, no nothing, just had to remember everything with my mind. And there were things that I observed that were both extraordinary and there was a sense of sadness in that. And it connects to, and I don't want to dwell on the sad decline part, because this film, Epic, is really about the celebration. Like, it's when Elvis really reclaims his creative powers and puts on a show like no other. And what we were so privileged and excited to be able to do when we found the 65 reels of unseen footage and worked with the great Peter Jackson and his team to bring it back to life so that on IMAX you're seeing it at a level that's kind of inconceivable.
Right. Okay. So I know we all heard it all this time. I think most people heard the complete thing last time, but I wanted to make sure that everybody heard what we're going to vote on now on the poll. And as you can hear, when Baz was doing work at Graceland for the movie Elvis with Austin Butler, he said to Lisa Marie, I really do need to see upstairs. And she relented and allowed him to spend 20 minutes upstairs. Now, basically, it's a very, very simple question I'm asking you to vote on. Are you okay with Baz going upstairs at Graceland? Yes, I feel it was needed for the movie. No, pictures are enough, family only. So that is, hopefully that will come up now. Let me have a look. Okay. Yes, that has come up. Okay. Are you okay with Baz going upstairs at Graceland? Yes, I feel it was needed for the movie. No, pictures are enough, family only. Now, you know, because so much has actually been said about how important it is to keep it sacred. And then, you know, we hear from Baz that he did go up. So I wanted just to throw it over to you, really, the fans, because at the end of the day, the fans are the most important people, and the community are the most important people when it comes to the whole Elvis world and the whole Elvis thing. So I'd ask you to vote with your head, vote with your heart, vote really just however you feel. Are you okay with Baz going upstairs at Graceland? Yes, I feel it was needed for the movie. No, pictures are enough. Family only. Now, there was actually, Mark, I did see you there on Discord, but unfortunately you disappeared again. I'm going to do another Hidden Elvis first. Hang on a second. Here we go.
Hidden Elvis. Clue number 2.
Clue number 2, to go along with May 24th, 1968, is 1,000. Sorry, it's not 1,000. It's 13,800. Okay? That's clue number 2. Hidden Elvis. Now, let's have a look here. If you do want to call in on Discord, please do. Or if you want to call in using WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, or just the telephone number on the screen, you can. If you want to give me your thoughts on Epic, or if you want to give me your thoughts on Baz going upstairs. And actually, I do actually see that there is somebody in there, so I'm going to put myself in there and say, hi, Vincenzo.
Hi, Steve.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Hope you're feeling better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not 100% yet, but I'm getting there.
Elvis is good medicine.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Every time when I was really feeling very, very, very bad, I got the bedroom speaker to play some of his gospel stuff and stuff like that. And you know, some of the ballads where his voice is just like syrup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think about this Baz being allowed to go upstairs and see Graceland upstairs in his bedroom, his bathroom, and so forth?
I don't think he should have been allowed upstairs.
Yeah, you think probably pictures is enough and it just should be left to family, yeah? Yeah. Okay.
Actually, they showed upstairs, and this is Elvis.
Yes, that's correct. They did, yeah. In the early days, 1981-ish, they did film upstairs. So what people don't realize is the scenes you're actually seeing is actually inside Elvis's bedroom. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's okay. Thanks, Vincenzo, and thanks for the well wishes. All right. Bye. Now Mark is back. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hi, Steve. I'm all right, mate.
Happy birthday. Oh, thanks very much. Happy birthday for yesterday, I believe, was it?
No, mate, it's actually my birthday on Tuesday.
Right.
I'm celebrating a bit early. That's what I'm doing.
Right. Well, happy birthday for Tuesday, definitely.
Yeah, thank you.
How many times have you seen Epic now?
Oh, right. Well, I'm going again Tuesday because I got a day off work and it's my birthday. I'm going again.
Oh, yeah. Best thing to do, really, for your birthday, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so that'll be the sixth time I've seen it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Twice in IMAX and then 4 times at the. It's on for about another week, I think, for this week, and I think then it runs out for all the ones that we're by. So,
yeah. I mean, we have to be honest now. It is coming. It is winding down. It is coming to the end. But of course, that then means now that the next thing is streaming. Yes.
Yeah, I would have thought so. It'll be streaming, and then hopefully we'll get the Blu-ray then, and we'll see if there's going to be any extra stuff on the Blu-ray, which would be interesting, wouldn't it? To hear.
Yeah, now, the adverts I've seen so far for the Blu-ray, I'm not impressed simply because there doesn't seem to be any extras. But that's why I'm a bit dubious with the adverts I'm seeing, is because hardly anybody releases something like that and doesn't put something extra.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You usually get like a trailer or like a documentary the way the film was made, or some interviews.
Yeah.
And then you're hoping that you are going to see a couple of performances. It'd be nice to think that of all the effort of all the fans have gone and seen the film and supported it, and we can get a physical copy ourselves, that we might get a few extra bits on the Blu-ray or DVD, which would be nice to see. And then we know there's more to come, but when we're going to see it, we don't know, do we? So, you know.
Yeah, that's right. And tell me this: when you're going to the movies, is there still people there watching, or is it empty again?
Yeah, well, I think the one I'm going to Tuesday, when I looked, I think there's only a couple of people. It's only a small one. I've never been to this one before, so it's one in my local area, but it's not the one that I usually go to. So. The one I usually go to, I think it ran out at the end of this week. So they're showing it in Sutton, where I'm about half an hour away. And I believe it's on for an extra week for this week. So, but some of the other ones I've been to, there's been quite a few there.
Yeah, well, I was looking there earlier on. It's made $12 million so far.
Yeah. Well, it's made them. I think it's made more than that now. I think
Probably,
I
yeah.
think last time I heard of it, I thought it was 14.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely call that a success, and that doesn't include the streaming yet. It doesn't include the DVD sales or anything. So it's a definite success, like, you know.
Yeah, and plus you got all the merchandise on top of that, which will probably sold a bit, which will again all goes towards it, you know. So Baz did put an interview out, didn't he? Was it last week? You know, his appreciation for all the hardcore fans.
Yeah,
who was in the film. So it was nice, and he has worked hard on it the last two or 3 weeks, and you know, he's pushed it as much as he can. But I know people have gone and seen it 10 times, you know, plus, you know.
Yeah.
So it's great to, you know, it's great to hear that people are, and it's a film that you are going to see more than once, twice, or 3 times if you got the chance to see it.
Oh yeah, it's not one of those movies you just watch once and then that's it. You just put it away and you never watch it again. You know.
Yeah. The first 2 times when I saw it in IMAX, and when I saw it again for the 3rd time, I was just slightly disappointed because the sound wasn't as loud, or unless they put the sound down a bit in the theatre, because they can do that as well. But it's a shame because obviously you hear it when it's at the top form in the biggest screen possible and the biggest sound. It sounds and looks amazing.
Yeah.
But it's still great on a normal standard cinema screen. But it was not nice to see it for the first time in IMAX for sure.
Wait till I get the Blu-ray. I'm going to turn my TV up, my sound system way up.
Yeah. So you've got to have your sound bar on, haven't you, for that?
Yeah, definitely. What was I going to say? So, do you want to address the poll? Yeah.
Yeah, the poll. Yeah, I kind of. It's a Baz thing, isn't it? Because he's very thorough.
Yeah.
And you know, he was making that film, and he did amazing scenes. You know, he got Beale Street off, didn't he, to a T. You know, the Graceland looked quite good. He wanted to make it, all the bits and dabs in the film look really good, you know, to all the stuff that Elvis had and saw and went to. And so I can understand him. It just makes you feel, did he do a scene in the bedroom? No, you don't know, do you?
Yeah.
He's got that in his head. Did he film anything, or was he planning to? Or
I mean, he said he wasn't allowed to do anything like that. No pictures or anything. He just had to sort of commit it all to memory.
Yeah. So you know, you don't know if he was going to put a little thing at the end of the film with that. You don't know. You know, it didn't go to that kind of scale because it kind of jumped from, you know, the Priscilla divorce, didn't it, to a little bit at the end. There wasn't like 76. It was just at the end and jumped straight to the piano with these CBS. But but you don't know if he did, because obviously there is a 4-hour cut, isn't there? You know.
Oh yeah, he says he could easily do a 4-hour. Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, was there anything there, or did he have intentions of doing that? So he thought, well, I need to see it, you know, and just see the decor, you know. I can understand him going up in the bedroom and stuff. Did he go actually in the bathroom? He didn't actually say that, did he?
No, he didn't mention the bathroom, but I would imagine he probably did. He probably went in the 4 rooms. He probably went in the office, Lisa Marie's, Elvis's bedroom, and then the bathroom, and then you know,
it's a hard situation, but he's a film producer. I suppose he's directing the film. He just wants to see it all. I'm sure he got his reasons to do it, and he knew he probably didn't want to go up there, but he probably just, you know, he's a kind of guy who wants to get everything right.
Yeah,
and I feel like he's doing a film, and this was obviously a big film in Elvis's fan career and life. All the fans, obviously, they're all thinking how this is going to pan out, and it ended up being a great film, and you know, and Austin did a great job.
Yeah.
So I think like he just wanted to get everything in his head, I suppose, you know.
Yeah.
But like you said, you know, the bedroom was shown in This Is Elvis.
Yeah, Vincenzo said that. Yeah.
You know,
yeah. So
we see quite a bit, you know. You see little bits of the rooms and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a hardcore, but I wouldn't I wouldn't really go against Baz for that. You know,
Yeah.
Lisa. It's not like he went up there on his own accord. He asked Lisa, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Oh, he would have been
so-
accompanied. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you know, she said yes. She must have thought, well, he's doing he's doing all this for her dad. I hope it's going to end up being a great film, and
Yeah.
everything else that comes of it. She must have realised
Yeah.
we may need to see this. You know, so yeah. It's,
I just wonder now what they've got lined up for the 50th. I wonder if they got sort of Hampton Roads or something in the bag.
Well, I really hope it's Hampton Roads for the 50th. I'll be surprised if there's nothing from the epic scenario for next year, because whether they will release a few, they could do something like a lost performances kind of thing with all the footage. They could do that, couldn't they?
Yeah.
They've got it all now. But I would think most of the diehard Elvis fans and everybody that I talk to really want a full show, because we haven't really got full shows of Elvis, and to have Hampton Roads all the way through would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
It would.
You know?
It would, yeah.
And to have it in the quality that was shown in the movie. It's every Elvis's dream, isn't it? To have, I can't wait for it to happen. I just wish they could. I just wish they had every show, and they could, if they've had Greensboro all the way through as well and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if they have. But they might have half a show. They could have at least 6 or 7 performances.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't mind if it was skipped on to the next show, and then all the songs that they've got from the next show they mix in. They could still do a concert again out of all the performances, you know.
Yeah. Well, with the success now at the movies with Epic, it's pretty sure that there's going to be more stuff, I believe, anyway.
Yeah, and
Thankfully.
Some of the interviews I've heard over the last week with the guy who's behind it with Baz, he's been talking about it, and he's kind of said all that. I think if we are going to release something next, it will probably be the Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
But I think if they are going to release it, they're going to do it in a good way. Let's hope we get all the backstage stuff at the start.
Yeah,
all
brilliant.
the fans arriving, the car arriving, all that.
Yeah.
And the whole scenario, it looked great. And again, it's a thing that you could show in a cinema again, couldn't it?
Yeah.
It could,
yeah.
it could be.
Something will probably happen at the movie theaters in January, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to ask you one question. I just had this thought in my head the other day. I know that you interview a lot of Elvis associates and friends, over the years. This will probably be wow. I don't think you'll probably get hold of him, but have you ever thought of interviewing the man himself, Mr. Tom Jones?
Yeah, I have actually, believe it or not. Yeah. And Engelbert Humperdinck as well, because Engelbert met him a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, I know they both met him, but I was always thinking, I was fascinated by when he was in Hawaii with Elvis in '69. On the beach together, and there's a picture. I remember seeing a black and white picture of Elvis and the guitar, and Tom's just sitting on a sofa, and they were jamming, and I just wondered, because every interview that you ever hear of Tom Jones, when he's been on and they all talk about Elvis, and he always talks about Elvis, and he always talks about Elvis in a great light. But they always talk about, he came on stage at Vegas, and when we talk this and this and that, and I used to be at the Caesar's Palace, and I was used to be at the Hilton and all that. But I was thinking, what about the time when you had times on the beach, and that time where you probably jammed? I just be interesting what they talked about and what song they sang together.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, it would be. I mean, I wouldn't have a clue where to begin to get hold of Tom. Yeah. You'd nearly have to know somebody that knows Tom, and then go that way.
Yeah. Because I always think we just lost Neil Sedaka.
Yes.
You think about the great song that Elvis recorded, Solitaire, but you think of these guys, and Tom and Engelbert are really probably the last performers that have got an Elvis connection in a way. They've both met Elvis and both have, pictures taken with them and performed in Vegas at the same time.
Yeah.
And you look at the movie and you think, there's Sammy Davis Jr. I bet he's got some stories, but he's not here no more, is he?
I know, they're all leaving us. Yeah, they're all leaving us. Yeah, it's a thought, definite thought. I have thought about it many times. Alrighty.
Be nice. All right, cheers, Steve.
All the
Great job,
best.
guys.
Cheers.
Take care.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye bye. Yeah, I've often thought of speaking with Tom many times, actually. And if there's anybody out there that can help me, please do get in touch. Right. Okay. The next guy I want to speak to is Ian. Hi, Ian. How are you?
I'm very disappointed to not be Tom Jones. I'm very sorry, Steve.
Yeah. How are you, mate?
I'm not bad. I've missed my weekly Steve Fix. I think, as I've said before, I either listen to you in the gym or I listen to you on when I'm cycling, because normally I'm with my grandkids on a Sunday night, but tonight I don't. So I mean, a couple of weeks ago, it was a really good show. I think you said in particular the calls were very good. I think I always get enthusiastic about when I hear the younger fans talking, and Mark and Dylan and Julianne, I think it was.
Yes.
They're just their excitement and going to see the film, etc. It just was. It was very engaging, and it was. I was very, very pleased to hear their excitement. It was terrific.
Tell me this: how many times have you seen the film?
That's seven. So seven.
Seven.
I saw it five times in IMAX.
Wow.
I was fortunate to see it with friends a couple of times, which is good. But I saw it twice, and I've got the old people's membership to the Odeon, so it's free to go there. So I saw it twice there, and of course it's not nearly as good. And I was delighted when IMAX came back. So I saw it twice in IMAX.
But it really is. It's some movie, isn't it?
It's funny. It's funny, Steve, because when I was sitting there, I was thinking, why am I enjoying this so much? And I actually think the reason I was enjoying it so much is because Baz Luhrmann has got me back in the cinema to see Elvis.
Yeah.
And because of that, I think we should be eternally grateful to the guy.
Yeah.
Because he actually got Elvis back into the cinema, which is terrific. And it was his name. It's his name. Even though his name's plastered all over the film, I don't resent that at all, because it was his name that got us back. Nobody else could have, I don't think, that didn't have his reputation could have got us back in.
Yeah, I mean, it's his love for Elvis as well that would have helped him, his passion. He would have been passionate about this, and that passion would have carried over to when he had to sell it to the backers and the people that were sort of financing it. I
think you could be right there. I think that might well be the case. But it's very interesting because I was talking to via Facebook. I was talking to my friends. I think it was Jerry McClafferty and Tom Shannon, who are the Glasgow Elvis Presley Film Society.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I think it was Jerry was saying, it was ridiculous how little promotion there was. And it's funny because, of course, this is what exactly we were talking about on your channel just a few weeks ago. But I feel that Baz has been justified. And if you remember, Ernst Jorgensen was talking about how tight the budget was when he was in Denmark.
Yeah.
And I think Baz Luhrmann's strategy of using social media has worked. So I don't think we can, I think retrospectively, we might want to reconsider what we were saying, because I agree, there was absolutely no, I mean, I got the pictures literally, for younger fans, the pictures means the movies. I got the pictures twice a week with my wife.
Yeah.
And we didn't see a single trailer. And we see all the trailers, all the rubbish films, but not a single poster or anything. So I think Baz can be justified in his strategy.
Yeah, and also to his internal credit as well, he also ramped it up himself the last few weeks.
Yes.
He worked his socks off the last few weeks, didn't he? Yeah,
he did. And obviously, I think I said a few weeks ago, we can't expect the level of promotion that he did in 2022, because he doesn't have Austin Butler, he doesn't have Tom Hanks, to sit on a couch on Graham Norton and talk, and we can't bring Elvis back and say, hey, tell us about the film.
Yeah,
and it was that level of promotion was obviously that just wasn't going to be feasible. But it's very interesting, and I know this may sound ridiculous to some people, but prior to the Elvis movie, I had never heard of Baz Luhrmann.
Oh,
and prior to the Elvis movie, I'd never heard of Austin Butler. And literally, I go to see the pictures at the same every twice a week usually.
Yeah,
And I've never heard of Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah,
so
I'd heard of Austin Butler a little bit. Baz Luhrmann, not so much. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the same. It's funny, Steve. It's the same as when you get these awful programs that come from Graceland or from America, and they've got all these people with hats, cowboy hats, and things like that, and they're all talking about how much they love Elvis, and you've no idea who they are, and yet they're incredibly famous in America. But,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny though. It's funny, Steve, because what happened was when I was sitting there, thinking about it, and I think I mentioned this to quite a few people. If you watch, and of course I've subsequently gone and watched, quite a bit of the That's What It Is special edition from, and I think I mentioned before, I was fortunate to actually see the premiere of that in the Memphian in 2000 in Memphis.
Yeah.
And then I saw it again in 2001, and it was there I actually spoke to Rich Midland about any plans for Elvis on tour. But I was sitting there thinking, obviously the angles I knew. You're seeing from the front instead of the back, and vice versa in Epic. But also, I felt, and I've not had a chance to ask anyone, obviously, I felt they were really influenced by Special Edition. If you like, the whole pace of That's What It Is, the original movie in '70, is very slow to start. Whereas Special Edition really was a bang, as you said earlier. There was far more Elvis in it, and it started with a bang.
Yeah.
But also, I think they were very influenced by what Rich Midland did with Mary in the Morning. If people go back and look at that again in Special Edition, it's really a combination of lots of different rehearsal segments. Okay, they don't go to live, but at the end of it, Elvis is. I keep on forgetting what he says. Something like, "It worked." He says it worked.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a commentary on the editing itself of the film.
Yeah.
And I wonder just how much they were influenced by the pace and the techniques used in Special Edition.
I myself noticed quite a few similarities between Elvis, That's the Way It Is, the Special Edition, and Epic, to be honest. So I'm not just imagining it then. You could see that as well.
Yeah. And just to sum up then, I thought it was terrific. As far as the poll's concerned, I think as usual with these things, Steve, you usually say we can only have 4 options, but now we've only got 2 options. And I think option 3, now I voted no, I don't think anyone should be up there, only family, but option 3 should have been, because it was Lisa Marie that told them it was okay, it's her call. Right?
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
And I think that's. I mean, obviously, Riley is, I suppose, is a natural keeper of the keys from that perspective, and so she has, I think, the rights to make that decision. But equally, Lisa definitely had the decision on that. So if she said yes, then I think it's okay.
Right.
Personally, I think he was just trying. I think he was just as usual. He's a bit of a bullshit merchant. But he's tremendous. I mean, I want to make that clear. I think Baz is great. And my view of him is definitely mellowed, but I'm really appreciative of his efforts. But I think that he probably just conned his way into going upstairs. I really feel I need to see Elvis, where Elvis was.
I wonder how many times he asked Lisa before she relented.
That's true. As I said, I'm really enjoying hearing the calls coming in. I've really enjoyed the show recently.
Yeah.
And all the best, then, Steve.
Thanks a lot, Ian. Always a pleasure to speak to you.
Good talking to you. Cheers.
All the best. Bye.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Great call there from all the way from Scotland. Ian Mackay and Mark and Vincenzo. And I also have one coming through here now. Okay. Let's have a look here. Okay. Hello.
Hello, Steve. It's Ruth.
Hello, Ruth Daniel. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm doing great. I'm glad you're doing better.
Yes, thank you very much. I am improved. I'm not 100%, but I'm much more improved. It's lovely to hear your voice. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, well, you're welcome. Thank you.
What would you like to say?
Well, I wanted to talk about a little bit about Epic.
Right.
You had mentioned the scene where Denise Sanchez had met Elvis.
Yeah.
And in Albuquerque, she had lost her leg due to cancer.
Yes.
I think she was 8 years old.
Yes.
Anyway, we used to live in Albuquerque, and for a few years. And these people that were packing us up when we left Albuquerque, packing our house up, they actually knew Denise's mother. I believe her name was Trudy Sanchez.
Okay.
And they told me some of the backstory of that. Actually, Denise's mother got hold of the newspaper there in Albuquerque or either in Santa Fe. I don't know. They lived in Santa Fe. And she got hold of the newspaper. The newspaper got hold of Colonel Parker and told him what was going on. And that's how Denise got to meet Elvis.
Okay.
And actually, Elvis ended up paying for her medical expenses, ended up paying for her funeral. And also, her father, Denise's father, died of cancer too. And he also paid for his medical expenses and funeral.
Yeah.
And when he died.
When I hear things like that, it never ceases to amaze me. His generosity, his humanity to his fellow human being. It really it knocks me sideways every time I hear it. I mean, I knew that was the case, but every time I hear it, it just breaks my heart. It really does.
Yes, I know. And this lady who knew her mother, I couldn't believe all the, I mean, I could believe all the stuff she told me, and it was just, it really touched my heart. So I just wanted to share it with you.
Yeah, I mean,
and your listeners.
When I mentioned Denise there a couple of weeks ago, I was saying about how I felt that there should have been along the way just a little bit of description of why Denise was being allowed in to see Elvis, and why, a lot of people wouldn't have realized, and they would have just thought it was just another fan just being allowed in to see him. And I think just a little bit of a description, maybe at the bottom of the screen, just saying what was going on, would have helped. But that's the decision that the producers and Baz made, I suppose.
Oh, sure. They had to go quickly.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah. And of course, it was one of the last things, one of the last wishes that Denise had, wasn't it? And she passed. Did she pass the following year, 1973?
I think it was August the same year.
Oh, was it really? Was it really that soon?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. She met him in April. Her mother even told her, you're too sick to even go to the concert. She's like, no, I've got to go. I want to go.
Yes.
And they drove down from Santa Fe, which is about 75 miles from Albuquerque, north of Albuquerque.
Yes.
So, yeah, it was quite a trip for her, being a sick girl.
Now, you met Elvis a few times, didn't you?
I met him one time.
Okay, one time. You spoke to him, yeah?
Yes. I met him in July 1st of 1976 in Greensboro, North Carolina, at the airport.
What did he say?
I was able to. He didn't say much.
He was kind of moving fast, was he?
He had just gotten up, and I asked him if he would stop. I got into the airport. It was a private airfield where his Elise Marie was parked. And my friend that I was with, she was from Greensboro, and her neighbor worked at that airfield and knew she was a big Elvis fan, and found out Elvis was just leaving that day after he did a concert June 30th in Greensboro, 76. He called Jean the next day at noon and tried to find her, called her mom, and her mom says, oh, she's at the Greensboro Hilton staying there. We were staying above the suite Elvis was in. We were staying in the room above his suite.
Wow. And
she just wanted to stay there, and I was going to be with her, so it didn't matter. That was great. And he tracked her down and called her at the hotel room.
Wow.
And it was about noon, and he said, Elvis is leaving this afternoon, and I thought you might want to stand by his plane. Maybe you can get to meet him. And she's like, yes. So we got in there because of her, my friend Jean in Greensboro. And we waited for him, and David Stanley came first. Some of the guys came first and told us to step back from the plane. We were too close, I guess.
Yeah.
And the engines were already running, and I thought, oh my gosh, Elvis is never going to hear me when I asked him to stop. So Elvis finally came. He started walking. He got out of his Cadillac that he was in, the Cadillac they brought him in. And he stepped up to the steps of the plane. I asked him to stop before he even got to the steps, but he did not hear me. I wasn't loud enough.
Yeah, I bet you were.
So I yelled, Elvis! And he turns and looks at me. And I said, can you stop for an autograph? And all he did was stare at me and nod his head yes. So we walked up to him, and I was like, it was like I was in a trance. Yeah. The whole time I was walking up to him. Yeah. I was thinking, okay, I've got to say hi. My name's, I was going to tell him my name, where I, went to school in Memphis and da 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 da, and all this. And I looked up at him, and he's staring at me through his sunglasses, his eyes. And I said, hi. That's all I could get out.
Yeah.
Hi.
I'm not surprised.
Oh my gosh. So then I opened my autograph book. I had a zipper on it, and I opened it up, and I just handed it to him. And I handed him a pen. I didn't say anything to him. I handed him a pen, and he looked at the pen, and he goes, oh, that's a cool pen. And it had stars and stripes on it. It was really cool. I had bought it down at the gate that year. And I said, oh, that's my bicentennial pen, Elvis. So then I thought, he likes that pen so much, he's going to keep it. But I want it back. But I didn't say any of that to him. And then he couldn't open it because it unscrewed. And he tried to pull it open. And I said, oh, Elvis, you have to unscrew it. And he just hands it back to me. He was holding on to it. And I thought, okay, I can touch his hand now. So I I touched his hand, and I went down to the pen, and I unscrewed it for him. I thought, I'm going to touch Elvis.
What a great story.
And then he signed it for me. And as he was signing it, Red West behind him said, hurry up.
Oh.
And Elvis slowed down. Oh. I saw him actually slow down writing his signature. Yes.
Well, you see, by then things probably weren't very good between him and Red anyway. So.
Oh no, July 1st, 76. Yeah. No, and we had heard after we met him, several years later, we heard from this guy that was there with us. He had asked for Elvis for an autograph too, but he had heard Red at the car. He was closer to the car than we were. And he heard Red, or he saw what was going on. And he said, Red had taken that big police flashlight and poked it into Elvis's back.
Wow.
We didn't see all this because where we were standing, we didn't see what happened. But Red said to him, we need to go. And Elvis said, I'll do what I want.
Oh, good man, Elvis.
Yeah, so he did what he wanted.
Yeah.
Actually, he did recognize me. I could tell he did when he was staring at me.
Yeah.
I knew he recognized me from the gate, but he couldn't place me. So he didn't say, oh, I've seen you, wherever place.
Yeah.
He didn't say that.
Well, he saw so many people, didn't he? He probably just couldn't place you.
He couldn't place me. I was in Greensboro. I was supposed to be in Memphis. What?
Yeah, that's right. Of course. Yeah.
I was on tour.
Yeah.
So when I said, and then Jean got an autograph. She got some pictures, and this other guy got an autograph. Asked Elvis for his autograph for his wife, and told him how great the show was the night before. And Elvis said, "Thank you very much." And he didn't say much. He had just gotten up. I could tell he was a little tired,
Yeah, a little groggy, yeah.
About 3 o'clock. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And Elvis started walking up the steps again. And I said, Elvis. And he looks back at me and turns toward me again. And I put my hand on his shoulder. Well, actually, he shook my hand first. I shook his hand, or I put my hand on his shoulder. No, I don't. No, I put my hand on his shoulder first. And I said, Elvis, we'll see you back in Memphis. And when I said that, something clicked in his eye, like, oh, that's where I seen you. But he did not say anything to me.
Yeah.
And then I held out my hand, and he shook my hand. His hand was so soft and warm and big. And just, oh, my gosh. And he walked up the stairs, and then he waved at us bye.
Wow. You'll never, ever forget that in your life, will you? You'll never forget.
Never. And we were the only two girls that were standing by the plane. Everybody else was outside the fence on the other side of the plane.
Yeah.
The plane was open toward the field, not toward all the fans. So they didn't see what was going on. But we told our story later in the newspaper because Gene knew that one of the guys from the newspaper, and he called her. He said, I heard you met Elvis.
You obviously hung around the Graceland gates as well, did you?
Yeah, I was around there. Yeah, from 75 to 77, I was around.
Yeah, so you saw a lot of comings and goings at that time, yeah.
I sure saw him a lot, and his stepbrothers knew me, and so I knew Elvis knew my face because if his stepbrother, Ricky, said, "I seen you at the gate," when I was on tour.
Yeah,
that's what he said to me. So I knew Elvis knew me. So that was pretty cool.
What great memory! What a great memory! Brilliant. Okay, Ruth.
Yeah.
Did I'm not sure whether I asked you or not about Baz and Graceland going upstairs.
Yeah, I think it's fine that he did that because he had the movie to do, and Lisa told him he could do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, Lisa probably took him up there, actually, didn't she? He wouldn't have obviously gone up there on his own.
Well, I don't know if she did, but maybe Angie took him up there.
Yeah, because there is some locks and codes and things that only certain people know, isn't there? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to go up there myself because there's really no reason to, but I think he had a reason.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, Ruth.
Anyway,
big pleasure, and thanks very much for sharing that story with us about meeting Elvis. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
I enjoy your show. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers, Ruth.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That was just an absolute pleasure, 100% pleasure to speak to Ruth and obviously hear about her meeting our man himself. Does this button work? Yes, it does.
It's time now for This Day in Elvis History.
Okay, This Day in Elvis History with a bonus. Oh, how dare you. Stop. With a bonus, because there was something from last week's Elvis History, which I was going to, obviously, because I didn't do last week's show, I was going to have to ditch. But I thought, no, I'll keep it in even though it's a week old because it's such a delightful piece that I want to share it with you. So when I get up to 1967, I believe it is, I'm going to share last week's little bit from This Day in Elvis History. Right. I'll just settle my throat and say that 1956... and I have pictures as well. Elvis performed at the Mosque Theatre, Richmond, Virginia, at 7 and 9. The billboard mistakenly referred to Scotty, Bill, and DJ as the Blue Mooners. Yeah, okay, the Blue Mooners. And then we have, there's the Mosque Theatre. Okay. 1957, we've got RCA releases All Shook Up. In Memphis, Elvis was accused of pulling a gun on Private Herschel Nixon, a 19-year-old Marine who claimed that Elvis had insulted his wife. Elvis had a movie prop gun, and the news cycle would continue for 3 more days. Yeah, they would keep going on about something like that, wouldn't they? 1960, yeah. Elvis at the he checked into the penthouse of the Miami's Fontainebleau Hotel with Joe, Lamar, Gene, and Cliff. The rest of the week he rehearsed for the Frank Sinatra show. There you go. (1961). Blue Hawaii soundtrack recording at radio recorders continued from 1 to 10:20 p.m. What did he record? Let's have a look. Well, there he is with Fudley Dudley, Dudley Brooks. And basically what he recorded was Blue Hawaii, Ito Eats, Hawaiian Wedding Song, Island of Love, Stepping Out of Line, Almost Always True, and Moonlight Swim. I better get rid of that because I really should be showing that, shouldn't I? So there he is in radio recorders. March 22nd, 1961. Then we've got Roustabout. And then we've got Hear 'em Scare 'em, which was Elvis's 19th movie. 1965. 1966. Oh, let me tell you, Spin Out. Spin Out. Okay. 1967. Easy Come, Easy Go. Elvis's 23rd film, co-starring Dodie Marshall, Pat Priest, Elsa Lancaster, Pat Harrington Jr. Opened in the US and Canadian movie theaters and doesn't do well. Now, this was a thing I wanted to show you. On the 15th of March 1967, Elvis got or rather Joan Crawford wrote a letter to Elvis. My dear Elvis, your Colonel Parker was absolutely sensational and so kind to me when I spent 2 days at Metro last month making a segment for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I am so sorry that you were not in Los Angeles at the time, but I hope to see you soon and that I can thank you personally for all the kindness that you and Colonel Parker bestowed on me. I love your new album that the Colonel gave me. He also gave me the use of your golf cart during the 2 days I was there, and he was so sweet having cold Pepsi Colas for us. Now, she was part of Pepsi Cola, wasn't she? She married the fella that actually owned or was a big person in the Pepsi Cola company. My very best wishes to you, Elvis, and I hope that you have a happy Easter. And that's from Joan Crawford. So I wanted to include that, even though it was from last week's This Day in Elvis History. 1968, Elvis filming Live a Little, Love a Little. 1969, If I Can Dream, hit number 11 in the UK. And we've got 1971, RCA released You'll Never Walk Alone Again, a collection of random gospel songs spanning Elvis's career to date. The album reached number 69 on the Billboard 200 chart. You'll Never Walk Alone was later re-released in 2006 as part of a reissue series of Elvis budget albums. However, at the time, this album was a big seller in the United Kingdom and reached a high position. It was certified gold on March the 27th, 1992, platinum July 15th, 1999, and 3 times platinum on January 6th, 2004 by the Recording Industry Association of America. So a very successful album, actually. And Elvis is in Memphis, and he had an appointment at the Memphis Eye and Ear Hospital. So it was a follow-up probably to the glaucoma issues that had reared their head earlier on in March. 1972, Elvis traveled to Los Angeles for a recording session at RCA's Hollywood studio. That was to begin on the 27th. 1975, Elvis did dinner shows and midnight shows at the Las Vegas Hilton. 1976, RCA released Elvis the Sun Sessions. Yes, here we go. Now, two different covers. They released the Sun Sessions in North America, which reached 76 on the pop and number 2 on the country charts. In 2003, the album was ranked number 11 on the Rolling Stones magazine list of 500 great albums of all time. The Sun Sessions was the North American cover to the previous year's release, The Sun Collection. I had the one on the right, The Sun Collection. And Elvis performed at the Kiel Auditorium, St. Louis, Missouri. During the You Gave Me a Mountain, a blonde-haired woman ran up on the stage and tackled Elvis in an affectionate bear hug, making him miss a verse of lyrics, and security pulled her off him. That was on this day in 1976. Here we go. The Kiel Auditorium. And that was this day, March 22nd, down through the years. Not a favourite of mine, that jumpsuit. There we have it. Now, yes, this is what you heard a brief snatch of. Actually, I'm going to do this.
Hidden Elvis. Clue number 3.
Clue number 3, to go with May 24th, 1968 and 13,800, is 9 million. 9 million. Okay. Now, let's. This is a snatch of something you heard earlier on.
Oh my goodness. It's a mad, mad Elvis world.
Okay, so, destroying the myths one by one. Every week I sort of pull something out from the internet, and on June 18th, 1977, thousands of fans filled the Omaha Civic Auditorium waiting for a night with Elvis. Well, actually, no. On the 18th of June 1977, Elvis was at the Kemper Arena in Kansas City. So that's the first thing they've got wrong. Elvis was exhausted from years of relentless touring. They got that right. The night the concert was scheduled to begin at 8:30, yet the crowd waited longer than expected. Backstage, Elvis struggled just to gather the strength to walk. Nearly 45 minutes after, he finally stepped into the lights wearing one of the famous white jumpsuits. During the performance, he paused, breathing heavily as he stood near the microphone. At one point, he quietly stepped to the side of the stage and sat down for a moment resting. Don't know where he'd sit down, but there you are. While thousands of fans watched with concern rather than impatience. Behind the curtain, people worried about whether the show could continue. The promoter feared the concert might have to be cancelled, which would mean refunding every ticket. Doctors also urged Elvis to stop for the sake of his health, but Elvis thought was not on money, but on all contracts. He was thinking about the people who had come all that way to see him sing. Gathering what strength he had left, Elvis returned to the stage and continued the performance. It may have been the strongest concert. It may not have been the strongest concert, but it revealed something deeply human about him. Even when he was ill and exhausted, he refused to disappoint his fans, who had supported him throughout his life. Looking back, that night in Omaha stands as a reminder of his unwavering dedication to the audience he loves so much. Well, believe it or not, there is actually a grain of truth in that. I mean, Elvis would have to be very, very, very sick before he would cancel a concert. He never, ever wanted to let his fans down. But the details in that are completely wrong. You know, it's the wrong date, it's the wrong venue and everything like that. And then you see a picture like that. I don't know why that guy is actually rushing on, who that guy is supposed to be rushing on, and who the fella is sitting on the speaker. But there you go. All you can say really is... yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's a mad, mad Elvis world.
I think I'm going to close the poll. So let me have a look here and see what I can do. Okay, end poll. And the result is 65% think that it was okay for Baz to go upstairs as it was needed for the movie, and 35% say no, pictures were enough, family only. So yeah, so most people are okay with that. 65% of you say okay, Lisa taking or allowing Baz upstairs for Graceland. Probably on the back of the fact that the movie he made and the success of it more than paid off. So that's this week's poll. There'll be another poll next week. Now we've got this caption the photo. Great caption. Great photo to caption. That's Elvis, as we know from Epic, and I asked you to send in your funny captions, and his hand in mine was one of them. Those hands are as beautiful as his face. All I could do is stand there paralyzed. Better turn my charisma down a notch. Baz said the film is melting. Take my hand, precious Lord. I've got the whole world in my hands. Remember, guys, we're doing his hand in mine first, or is that burning love? I was this close to wringing Parker's neck. Okay, but the winner, as voted for by you, or should I say winners, because we have a tie. Mrs. EAP Elaine says, Elvis, you've got the audience eating out of the palm of your hand. And Dylan's Wonderful World of Elvis says, turn it up and play the hell out of it. Okay, so that's the, it's a tie this week. Well, or rather, it was tied when I did up the votes. So well done, Mrs. EAP Elaine, and well done, Dylan. And there'll be another caption probably Monday, Tuesday of next week. Look out for that. Song of the week. Yes. Now we had, of course, it was from Epic, the Epic soundtrack. And I was thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an epic of the epic. So all the winners from the last couple of weeks, Elvis Song of the Week, I'm going to put in a poll, and you can vote for the winner of the winner, the epic winner of the winner. But this week I chose A Big Uncle Love, Always on My Mind, Burning Love, or You've Lost That Loving Feeling from the soundtrack. And as you can see, there was one clear winner, 43%. What I've got to do now is I've got to figure out how I actually expand this for you. And it's like this. What won? Well, ooh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that either. Okay. I want to do this. There. Burning Love, 43%. Out and out winner for Song of the Week. And there will be another Song of the Week for you to vote on next week. Now, if I could just ask you for 1 second, it is quite important that you click the like button, and you also, if you haven't already, can you subscribe and click the bell and select all notifications, and of course turn on your notifications on your phone as well for the app, for the YouTube app. It does help. Now, Hidden Elvis. We've got one more clue, haven't we?
Hidden Elvis. Fourth and final clue.
And what I want you to do then is I want you to... let's have a look. Why can't I see that anymore? Oh, I can. I want you to tell me in the chat what it is. And the fourth and final clue is 1972, 1974, 1976. Do you know what the Hidden Elvis is this week? And the clue is it's epic themed. Clue number 1 was May 24th. Clue number 2 was 13,800. And 9 million was clue number 3. Oh, look at all this coming in. Teresa, Hampton Coliseum. Mrs. EAP, Hampton Coliseum. Vincenzo, Hampton. Yeah. Hampton Coliseum or Hampton Roads Coliseum, I will accept. Pamela says Hampton Coliseum. Yeah. That is basically what it is. Let's have a look at the photograph. Just in case you don't know how we arrived at it, May 24th, 1968 was when they broke ground. It's seated at the time 13,800. It cost $9 million, and Elvis appeared there in 1972, 74, and 76. So that is the hidden Elvis for this week. Congratulations to everybody that said Hampton Coliseum, because you're right. That's what it was. Now, what have I got to do? Oh, yeah, I've got to remind you that tomorrow, about 23 hours from now, so a little bit earlier than this time now, wherever you are in the globe, Desert Island Elvis, Castaway #1. I will be loading up onto YouTube Castaway #1, and that person, it's a he, and he chooses 10 Elvis songs, 6 movies, a book, and an Elvis luxury item. So I hope you enjoy Desert Island Elvis, and there is more to come. There is more to come. Now we've got to do this.
Oh, he's so hot.
And it's that one. And yes, my goodness me, that is some photo, isn't it? Oh, coming up in a minute, I'm going to spin the wheel for the winner of February's Fan of the Month quiz. Okay, #1 fan of the week is Mrs. EAP. Congratulations, Mrs. EAP. You are fan of the week this week. Closely followed by Jane, Teresa, John, Rebel Vegan, a little sister, Gigi Moore, Chris, Vincenzo, Karen Armstrong. That's the top 10. The top 10. Okay. Now, what do you think? Yes. Look at all these. I'm swooning. Yeah, I'm swooning is right, says Mrs. EAP. I'm sure he's looking at me, says Jane. Oh, Lord, gorgeous photo. I think that might have been your photo, Chris. I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. So there you are. Let me get that up. So we've got to do February's. I'm going to take that away for a second. I'll put it back up in a minute. So we've got to do February's wheel. Okay. Doesn't really want to work. Okay. Not 100% sure why that isn't coming up. Okay. I might have to leave it till next week, actually, because for some reason the February wheel isn't coming up. Can anybody see that? Okay. Let me just okay. I don't know why it isn't coming up. It should be coming up on the screen now this very second. Okay. Let's try. Here we are. Thank you. Okay. So, I was furiously pushing buttons there, trying to get it up, and then for some reason it came up. So, I don't know. A glitch. So, Mike M., Helen Ludlow, Elvis Austin, Jody Duggan, Dylan Bowen, Duncan Campbell, Brian Roberts, Ian McKay, Ian Mackay even, Ian Mackay, Danny McKenna, Juan Lozano, Margaret, Roseanne, Susan, Juliana O'Connor, and Timothy Lee. Stand by. I'm going to... Okay, so let's see. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Danny? No, it looks like it's going to be Juan. Congratulations. The winner this month is Juan Lozano. Well done. Okay, Juan, if you want to be in touch, congratulations. Let's have a look. Is Juan in the... I'm not sure whether Juan is on tonight, but he might watch on playback. So he's in for a nice surprise when he sees the playback. Pat says, well done, Juan. Congratulations, Juan. Congrats, Juan. Everybody's saying congratulations, Juan. Yeah. And don't forget, you could be the winner next month if you take part in this month's quiz and you get a question right first. Duncan says, congratulations, Juan, as well. So thanks very much for bearing with me last week. And don't forget, coming up tomorrow is that beauty there. Castaway #1, Desert Island Elvis. I really do hope you enjoy it. Just a reminder that next week the shows for the US will be back to the original time. But it just leaves me now to do this.
All right, let's wrap it up and get out of here.
And take care, everybody. And hopefully I'll be 100% this time next week. Fingers crossed. So it just leaves me now to say take care until next week, everybody. And it's over to Al.
Elvis has left the building. Thank you and good night.